Hello. So after a long absence, I finally get to record another video. I had the time for it. And for today I chose my Victorinox serrated Spartan with all its mods. This is my EDC for quite a bit, I believe roughly 8 years or so. I did some modifications to it just because I wanted some features that originally it didn't have. Yeah. So as you can see, I attach a saw to it. I attached a pocket clip. I have some other improvements there, so I'll get through them. I'll try to make it quick so I will not take too much of your time. And yeah, without further delay, let's get into it. So first of all, I chose the Spartan because it was roughly thin. So it was the thinnest Swiss Army knife that had enough functions for me to consider it for an EDC. If I have to choose again, almost for certain, I will go for the climber. I will choose a 3-layer Swiss Army knife instead of the 2 layers Spartan. But at the time when I selected this one as my daily EDC, scissors were not something that I would use a lot, and therefore I choose not to have them. I already knew that I want something without a saw, and I want to find a way to attach my own saw blades onto it, and that's for 2 reasons. First of all, I wanted to have the opportunity to change the type of blade I use, because I use the metal blade a lot when I have to cut not only metal or plastic, but also carbon fiber and fiberglass sometimes as well. And the second reason was that a Swiss Army knife with a built-in saw blade may end up, if you abuse it or if you make a mistake at one point when you are sewing something, with a broken saw blade, and that will be a bit trickier to replace. Yeah, not impossible, but just a bit more work. So I wanted something with a bit more with modularity and a bit more efficiency in my daily use. I don't use a saw a lot with my Swiss Army knife, so I believe I modified this a few years ago, maybe 4 years, maybe longer. I don't remember exactly when, and since then I used it I believe less than 10 times. So it's not such a it's not a feature that I use a lot. Yeah, however, it is good to have it when you need it, and therefore I made this modification for it. So I will start with it because it's the one that takes the cake pretty much. So as you can see, I used the screwdriver, screwdriver and cap lifter implement of the Swiss Army knife to attach the blades to it. So I had to find a clamp system that will both secure the blade so that I will have strength on the lateral movement, and also will give me a secure position, locking position for the up and down portion. Yeah, so you will have a bit of play there, but not enough to impede your sewing motion. Also, by doing this, I kind of lost a bit of the the sewing capacity, about half an inch there, centimeter maybe. But for what I'm using this, that was acceptable for me, so not much to say about that. Yeah, so it will not allow me to close it when it's on, so this is why I have to store this separately always, a reason for which I got this pouch for my Swiss Army knife and its blades. Also the same reason for the magnets. I have more than one reason for the magnets, but this was one of them, because when it's in my pouch, those blades will be attached to my Swiss Army knife like that. Now another modification I've done, as you can see, all my implements have a 90-degree rest position, so I had to file on the end, on both ends there. I try to do a good enough job. It's not my best, but considering the fact that this is not a fashionable item, it's good enough for me. So another advantage for that will give you the ability to use it as kind of a pistol grip and saw something like that, or from underneath, which also may work sometimes in difficult positions, but most of the time the way I will use it will be normal. Yeah, so in the same axis with the handle. When you attach it, you have to pay attention to put it with the tips of the saw on against the back, so that it will block it in place when you are doing this, when you are putting pressure and undoing this sewing motion. But that's pretty much it. I used as usual screw with a type of nut there. This is one of those drill stoppers, because it's easier for me to, it's small enough and it's easier for me to use it just with my hand, so I don't need to use a screwdriver or anything else. And then I have this sandwich here made of my saw blade. I had to file down and drill a hole into the blades, into the stopper there, the pressure lever there, and also into my screwdriver. And I also had to create a bit more room for this up and down stopper to get in there. This is also from a nail clipper. As usual, I use nail clippers, broken nail clippers, for parts, for diverse modifications I'll do to different tools. So just because it has this structure that it's kind of similar with a ladder, and that allows me to do some stuff that I cannot do otherwise. So besides that, so I had to drill a hole in there for the screw, which was a challenge in itself, considering that this is stainless steel. Then I sharpened the inner part of the screwdriver for a different purpose. This time it was for a kind of a rounded chisel. If I have to take sharp corners out of objects, I can easily carve them down with this. Then the next modification was on the canoper side. So first I had to create a small hook in there. Initially I did not have this hook I wanted something to be able to hook stuff and pull it tight. Therefore I've done that modification, and I do have here a bigger wire stripper. So for larger diameter wires, the inner side of the can opener was very good for that. And then because initially I had a small ferro rod here, the fire ant style, the one that usually you'll find on the Corkscrew, I had created a 90 degrees, a sharp edge here, as you can see, for as a ferro rod striker. But I didn't get to use this modification, so it was not really useful in the end. It may be useful at one point in time, but since then I replaced the small ferro rod, which was kind of useless anyway because it was too small. I replaced it with a pencil tip. And this pencil tip, for me it's useful because it will allow me to mark different materials, even wood or something like that. I can write on them, yeah. So if I need to do some work and I need to mark something quickly, I will take this and do the marking. So it has a story as well. So first of all, it's detachable. So I can, once I created this end for it, it's made with my UV resin. So you'll see that this is another use for that. And it's quite easy to do, and the reason for which I use that is because it will allow me to create a perfect match with the notch I created in the scales of the Swiss Army knife. And the way you will do it will be, you will have something, a small patch of paint tape or something like that underneath there, just to lift a bit your implement. And then you will secure, first you carve everything, yeah. So you carve the notch, you carve in the inside part to match everything, and then you will put the implement in its right place, and then you will just spray a bit of oil. Now it can be cooking oil, can be mineral oil, can be whatever you have available. The idea is to prevent the resin to bond with the scales, yeah, and with the Swiss Army knife itself, with the metal parts of it. Once you have done that, you start putting layer by layer UV resin. You'll be done in 5 minutes or less. At the end, you will just trim the excess where you have spillovers and stuff like that, and then you'll have the part done. So that's one thing. It is and it will be replaceable. It will have the ability to replace the tip when it's used or when it's broken. You will just take another tip and put it there, and you will be good to go again, yeah. I know it's a bit small to mark something with it. It's long enough and good enough, but if you need more precision, you can get and do that with the Swiss Army knife itself. So you can put it in there and then clamp it down with the corkscrew, and just like this I have a better grip and I can do more precise work if I need to, yeah. So you have two ways of using it. Now with this occasion I also showed you another modification, which may be the one that most people are looking for the most, which is how to create a pocket clip for a Victorinox without modifying the tool itself, and that will be with the pocket clip from a pen, a regular pen. Find one that has the inner diameter that matches the corkscrew of the Victorinox, and then it's just a matter of carving, grinding and molding the pocket clip itself to create a good contact and to create a good grip when you use it. So this can be used on the belt, on the pouch itself. When I use it in the pouch, and it's kind of hard to get out, but especially when you have it in, I will simulate some pens, a pocket here with a towel. So when you have it in a pocket, you'll see that the corkscrew itself will create kind of an extra grip on there, and it will allow it to be secure. Yeah, it will not come out easy. It will come easy enough for you to access it quickly, but it's not too easy that it will be able to slip out of there. So the advantage of this style of pocket clip is that first, you don't need to modify anything to your Swiss Army knife. You just find a suitable pen and then you start doing the work to make it fit with the Swiss Army knife. And the second advantage is that it comes over the corkscrew, and you can also use the implements that are designed for the corkscrew in the same time. So this will not impede the normal use and function of the corkscrew. It's easy to put in and out, and then when you have it in there, it's secure. So it cannot get out because it will be pushing against the tip there, so it will not slide out of the corkscrew, regardless how loose it is, and it will be secure enough and kind of neat. It looks good from my point of view, so no reason to avoid this type of modification. Now what I have done was to move the toothpick and the tweezers on the same side here, because on the other side I added a crochet. Yeah, so small hook needle I created in there. The end of this one is actually phosphorescent and fluorescent in the same time, so if you hit some UV light in there, it will be, let's see, it's a bit bright in here, but maybe we'll be able to make it visible, so you'll see how. Yeah, so that will allow me to identify quickly my Swiss Army knife if I drop it. And then I added on the scale, on the same scale with the shield, with the Swiss Army shield, I added 2 magnets. These were for 2 different reasons. So first, in my van, in my camping van, I have some exposed metal around my sleeping area, so this will be attached there next to my head. So whenever I need my Swiss Army knife while I'm in bed, let's put it this way, I have it close to me because this will be attached to those metal parts. Yeah. Second will be for my flashlight. So if I attach my flashlight to it and then I screw this in any piece of wood, I can create a third hand for my flashlight if I needed to point at some specific direction or to illuminate a specific thing and without me wearing it. So kind of an extra light, yeah, and that will be useful for that as well. So those were my that was my train of thought for that one. Then I added later this thing. This is riveted where the split ring was, which was annoying because it was always in the way of my awl. So I removed that initially, and then I added this implement here, which this also has a double function. Besides the hooking ability that it has at the end, this also act as opening pin for my doors inside the house. So what I have, every door has a lock, and if by mistake you lock yourself out with this implement, you can push it from outside. You can push a pin and unlock the door and be able to open it. So I always have this with me while I'm in the house, specifically for this reason. But actually for the same reason I added a similar implement in here on the Knipex. Yeah, so this pin has only one purpose: to allow me to unlock my doors from the outside if I need to. So not something that everybody will use. I use it, so for me it worked. Yeah. Another thing that I've done was to thread a sewing needle with some fishing line and add it instead of the pin needle that usually is designed for Victorinox there, just in case I need to repair some clothing while I'm out and about. If I bend over and my pants fail on me and I have a second crack over my crack, my natural crack, I'm able to repair that with that sewing needle. Yeah. So this is kind of in a nutshell what this Swiss Army knife is able to do for me. I don't really use much the serrated blade. I usually use it only when I cut some cheese with it, if I want to have an easier life with that. And the most used implement with my Spartan is actually the small blade. So I use this for lots of things, from personal grooming with fingernail trimming that I sometimes do with it, to delicate carving and sharpening pencils and lots of other stuff. This is my go-to blade, so this is the reason for which I carry a Swiss Army knife. Yeah. So as I said, all my implements have a 90-degree stop position just to prevent them for closing on my fingers. Yeah, I wanted that to have. Initially I had a bad history with Victorinox Swiss Army knives. For 20 years or more I refused to carry one. After, in my childhood, I have several closing on my fingers while carving in wood. What happens is when you push through wood, it kind of grips on the blade, and when you want to extract it, it will slip out and then close in the same time. So you end up with cuts on the back of the fingers there, and that's not something I really like. Therefore I created that safety that even if the blades kind of slips and gets towards the closing position, it will stop at 90 degrees. Yeah, so I have that on all the implements there. And yeah, other than that is just what I showed you, regular. So I have my tweezer, I have my toothpick, I have the crochet there, the pen tip there, a pocket clip, screwdriver for my glasses, sewing needle, and this magnets that will give it some extra functionality. Also can be a bit of a problem sometimes while during transportation, because they gather any metal dust you can find. So it's sometimes I need to clean them, but other than that they are good. So yeah, this is my Victorinox Spartan with all its modifications, and I hope this helps. If you have questions, as usual, feel free to ask. Other than that, have a good one, guys.